Bryan Kohberger's defense will try to get cameras banned from the courtroom for the rest of his case.
Bryan Kohberger waives right to a speedy trial. I told everybody this from the minute of the indictment. Nobody listened to me. Everybody was sure this thing was going to go to trial in October. And I said, even as late as last week, there's no way in hell this is going to trial in October. I think the lawyer is the only other guy that definitively said BS on this thing going to October trial. Because there's just no way. There's just no way it's going to happen. And even at the initial arraignment, when he was asked, his lawyer asked for the farthest date possible to be within the time limits of the speedy trial, which in Idaho is 6 months. You've got 6 months to, if you do not waive your right to a speedy trial, it's 6 months. You have to go to trial within 6 months. And they asked for literally the day 6 months from that point, which is just a good indication they're not going to waive their right to a speedy trial. They want that date there, and then they can delay it if necessary. Well, that's where we are now. Bryan Kohberger has finally waived his right to a speedy trial. Latah County, Idaho, Scripps News, Boise. Bryan Kohberger, charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, will no longer go to trial this fall. In a status hearing Wednesday in Latah County, the defense for Bryan Kohberger formally waived his right to a speedy trial. The trial was set to start on October 2nd with a flurry of deadlines for both the prosecution and the defense in the coming weeks. No new trial date has been set. Now, this is the thing. In Idaho, if you waive your right to a speedy trial, you do not get to go, wait a minute, I changed my mind. I want to go back and I want to exercise my right to a speedy trial. Once it's gone, and you are at the mercy of the court, the judge, the prosecutor, the defense, the court clerk, juries. You're their mercy until there's a magical date somewhere in the future that everybody can agree on works for their schedule. It might be 6 months, it might be 2 years. Or we're looking at like YNW Melly. And by the way, those of you that asked, YNW Melly will probably be the next trial because I believe the retrial has to start in October. So YNW Melly may be the next trial we're going to cover. The retrial. But it was 4 years before his first case was heard. So we don't know when Bryan Kohberger's trial will take place. But he can't say, I've been here a year and there's been no trial. He's waived his right to a speedy trial. Bryan Kohberger is facing first-degree murder charges in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernoodle, and Ethan Chapin in their off-campus home in November 22. Judge John Judge, we like Judge Judge. Judge John Judge, who is presiding over the proceedings, confirmed with the defendants that he wants to waive his right, to which Kohberger responded, absolutely. Kohberger has previously requested a stay of proceedings, but had not waived his right to a speedy trial. The prosecution offered no objections, and though stating that it preferred a resolution sooner rather than later, agreed that this was the smartest option. At this time, the defense say they were not prepared to set a new trial date. A hearing will still be held on September 1st, as the defense is prepared to file challenges against the grand jury indictment, which is the next article we're going to talk about, as well as motions regarding cameras in the courtroom and witness instructions. This camera in the courtroom issue has become a thing. This may not be televised because the people that are televising the trial, cough, cough, Law and Crime, cough, cough, Court TV, can't keep the cameras off Kohberger. The judge has mentioned it. They still continue to show close-ups of Kohberger, despite being told not to focus on the witnesses. And I am absolutely positive that's what his lawyer is going to be saying. They're not following your instructions, Judge. The cameras in the courtroom can't do what they're being told. They keep focusing on my guy. It's prejudicial. We don't want the cameras here. Those cameras could be ripped like that because the people operating the cameras can't get their shit together and do what the judge says and focus on the witnesses and the lawyers and not focus on Kohberger. That's the only thing they don't have to do. That is literally the one thing that they don't show Kohberger. That's all you have to do. But they can't seem to do that. That frustrates the hell out of me. It's just basically the same rules that were in the Gwyneth Paltrow case. A new trial will be discussed at the September 1st hearing. Kohberger faces the death penalty if convicted.